Okay, so for today's agenda, I wanted to discuss firstly common types of difficult clients you guys might meet during the chats you have, during phone calls, maybe personally as well. So today's webinar will not only cover the situations that can happen on the chat you'll be having, but well, this is the main focus of ours, but also will apply to the other situations in life you just might have. Then secondly, we'll just try to figure out why the customers behave like this. What would be the reasons for them to behave like this? And obviously, after we got this covered, there will be a Q&A session in case you got any questions to ask or perhaps some stories to share. We'll see about that. All right, so types of difficult clients. No matter what business you are in, whether it is just a customer service for, I don't know, banking or automobiles and so on, we all know that sometimes the clients can be difficult. This is just the way it is, and everybody who's worked customer service knows what I'm saying right now. But this is not something that has to break your whole day and make you feel bad for your job and so on. If you can identify the type of the client you're dealing with, you will have also better understanding of how to deal with them. Also, if you know why they do this, you may just get better understanding of feeling in the boots of them and just react properly. Okay, so the first type A, I want this solved. Now, this type of customers, they just want you to solve the problems immediately. Now, of course, it depends on the business you're in, but in some cases, all of you know that, some cases just cannot be solved immediately. If you work in the IT sector, you may just need to escalate this to your development team. If this is about sending some missing items to the customers, there are just a couple of procedures you need to do due to your company policy or just some other restrictions that you have, and those clients just do not acknowledge this fact. So for this type, you just need to be really assertive. I know this sounds like a truism, but assertiveness really does the job in here. So you just need to explain that even though you really like to help them right away, the moment you're speaking, there are just some things you can't make happen faster. And eventually, if you get some skill in this, the customers should eventually understand that they will just need to wait, no matter how the situation may be pushing them. So that's type A, I want this solved. Now, the second one, type B, I want to speak to your manager. Now, this one, I think we also know this probably from the restaurants as well, so real-time situations. This type of customer, they will not acknowledge that you're here to help them, but instead will try to escalate this immediately to the manager. Now, of course, this will depend on the company policy that you have, whether the managers are to be escalated to, or you should really tend to the problems during the contact with the clients. Now, the way to deal with such customers is that you need to explain to them that you are also here to help them, and the fact that they will be speaking to your manager does not necessarily mean that they will get what they want more faster or in any better way. So you just need to explain that you're also an agent that can do all the things they will be required for them. In some cases, of course, it might be a problem, and anyway, you will have to escalate this to your manager after some time. So again, check with your company policy how this should work. But if you're good in explaining, you should be able to just convince these clients to stay with you, give you one more try to solve the problem, and eventually, in most cases, from my experience as well, they will be happy after that you have been able to help with them with the problems that they had. So that's type B, I want to speak to your manager. Now the type C, can you do it for me? Now, again, depends on the business, of course, but as support agents, as employees, we all have our duties and things we do and things we do not. Of course, there is this thing that we've been really focusing on in LiveChat as well, that you can go extra mile for the customer, and this is really a good thing. So if the customer asks something out of you and you do have a spare moment to help them, it's all right to help them. But some of the clients go 2 more steps than this, and they just demand you to do the job they're supposed to do. If they just want you to do it for them, so that's just being lazy. Example of that would be during support, when the customer demands you to do the coding and such for you instead, while I've been familiar with the situations where there have been customers who just came to the chat, wanted to do some coding for them, and then sold this piece of work as their own. Of course, this is just an example from IT sector, but probably this could be the case also in other businesses. So you just need to know really well the company policy and what you are supposed to do for the clients and what not. What will be okay if you go an extra mile for them, but do not go extra 100 because, well, we all have our duties. So for the lazy people, just make sure they're not taking advantage of you because, well, that's not the way it should be. So this type C, can you do it for me? Actually, I got a question from Susannah. What would be the polite way or ways to say to the customers that they have to do it for themselves? I can give you an example from support of LiveChat. Basically, the company policy is that the customization and code implementation in case of LiveChat has to be done on the client side. Now, we are happy always to assist. So as something in between, a way you can use to convince your clients, you could be just giving them the fishing rod, so to say, not the fish itself. So maybe give them a link where they will have some tutorial or something to do it. And well, basically, as I said, there's no single way, there's no golden rule you're gonna use in here. So you just need to work with it and just see what set of words and phrases and whatnot work the best for your business. I hope that's answered the question more or less. We can also get back to it later during Q&A session. So again, type C, can you do it for me? Now type Z, the error is on your side. Now, no matter again what business you're in, there might be situations where there will be just something wrong that the clients did, and they will just say that the error is on your side. So in these cases, you need ways of explaining to them that in this particular case, the problem is not really caused by you or your service. And there is also good to, just as a company, when you do serve the clients, have some screenshots available, also some policies, set of rules, and so on. You can really call on when the clients do claim that the error is on your side. So this one is really tricky and sometimes takes a lot of convincing you need to do to the clients. But if you put it in the right words and supply this with some screenshots and maybe proofs that you're all right on your side, and then the client needs to do the job on there, this will just help with it. Question from NA I got: how long does the webinar last? I believe it should last for like 15 minutes or 10 minutes, more or less, plus Q&A session at the end. So type D, the error is on your side. Now type E, I want compensation for that. Now there are some cases where, because of some problems on your company side, in IT sector, that's understandable. The clients were put to something they did not like, maybe service outage, or perhaps some problems. And now there might be clients that would come and say, I want compensation for the problem. And now what you need to do with these kind of people is that you need to make sure they know that you acknowledge the fact that the service outage and so on has been inconvenient for them. But unless they can somehow prove that the real losses in dollars and in money are really there, you can't help also too much. I believe in restaurants, it could be also a good example. So when the client would be unsatisfied with the dish, meal, and so on, and they would just say, okay, I want compensation for that. So right now, it's good to have a set of rules. Again, set of rules really help among these cases. and call upon them if the client does demand something along these lines. All right, the next one after, so this is type E, I want compensation for that. Now, type F, you are useless. Now, this type is present in all the businesses you could possibly in, because those people just need to get their rage off and put it all on your face. Now, working as a customer service, your first line of contact with the customers, and you can't really take all of this personally. Of course, it's really difficult to say, I'm not taking this personally when somebody says that you suck, because they do mean you at this particular moment. But if you, later on I'll explain the reasons, if you just acknowledge the reasons why the clients would behave like that, it will be just more easier for you to move along with it and stay professional, stay calm, and basically not worry too much if such situations does appear. I will not call upon other examples like you suck and so on. I mean, we've all heard our share of the words the clients gave us. So I think that you guys understand me when I say this type of client, type F, you are useless, what I mean. And type G, the trolls. Obviously, the trolls are present mostly in the IT sector and internet because, well, internet is the place where trolls were born. Obviously, natural environment. Now, for the trolls, it's really a bigger group of people because the trolls can behave in different ways and so on. For those of you who might not be familiar with the definition of trolls, sorry, my bad here. The trolls are just people who are here to ruin your day on purpose. So they will just, play around with you. So, well, you will feel bad on just do some extra job for them and they will just not use it. Among the businesses, I could just go on bringing on the examples of what trolls are really doing. But we have a couple of ways how to react to trolls. And there's also been a blog post by my colleague previously. You can also check in on that. So there was one dedicated to trolls solely. So the first one is that if a troll approaches you and you do find out that it's a troll, you can simply do not react to them. So if they do try to be offensive to you or just do some other weird stuff, you just do not react to them and do not pick up the fight, so to say. Just stay focused on your goal, on doing what you're supposed to do as a customer service agent. But this doesn't always help, of course. The second way you can actually go with is playing the game, because trolls do assume that if they go to a support team and so on, that we are just people who can't really play and we are just stiff and do not have any sense of humor, which does not have to be the case. So in some cases, if you can afford it, like time-wise, you can play along with the troll and just show them that you can also play. And eventually, this might result in them just saying, oh, I kind of like you, I will stop trolling, and they just go away. Obviously, it will not work for all kinds of trolls. Now, another one that we have on the chat itself is pretending to be a bot. Now, I know this is funny because people really expect us to be real human beings, and so the trolls. But if you're just persistent on giving the same replies to a troll, I will just ask the question over again, they will eventually, they might think that you're just bot and, well, they're wasting their time here. So this is the way to go. And the last one, the ban hammer. In LiveChat, we do have a ban feature. So when there is someone who is really annoying and they just take your time, you can use a ban to exclude them from the chat. This will result in the IP being blocked, so they will not be able to engage in the chat. Plus, from some time already, we've included a ban for the cookie files as well. So this is not a solution that will work in all cases because, well, they can still use changing IP and so on and can clear cookies, but it will be more troublesome for them to return. So you can always just click on more, ban this visitor. It's not something you should use too often, and I think that you all know that. But well, It's something that you can call on if everything else fails. Now, the reasons. I mean, why are the people like that? Why would they be so rude, so nasty, and just not acknowledge, what we are doing here? Why would they ruin our day? Well, it's not always that they intend to ruin the day. So the reasons. I mean, why? Why? Reason A is a bad day. Sometimes just imagine yourself driving to your workplace and being stuck in a traffic jam. So you're already late like 15 minutes and so on. You just storm into the office, get to your seat, and you need something done quickly. It's just obvious that you will be more agitated and, well, more prone to be aggressive towards other people. So if you just think about that the person that's really not being nice to you right now, they're just having a bad day. At least for me, it just comes more easily to accept that, hey, I can deal with it. Maybe I'll just, help them out, and eventually they will just get better. So it's not always, the bad intention of the people to be a-holes, so to say. So that's reason A, bad day. The second reason B, the need to show superiority. Well, some people just do that. There also be another whole array of reasons behind this one, but some people just want to show you that they are superior. There is this concept that if you work customer service, some people will just be a-holes just because they can, just because they want to show how good they are, and so on. So if you do realize that's the reason for which the person is doing this, you can just, let them have it, or perhaps work around it. But if you identify that this is the kind of the reason that's causing them to do it, you can just prepare a defense for it and react to it more appropriately. All right, so that's reason B, they need to show superiority. Now reason C, pressure of the management. I bet that some of you did not think about this before, but think about this. You go into an office and your manager or your superior, they just tell you that you need to deal with something right now, today. So obviously you feel the pressure and you want to deal with the matter as fast as possible. So we're gonna go to the chat or call someone and demand them to do it immediately. Now, if you do realize that some things cannot be done right now, and this would be the type A, I want this solved now. So if you do realize that you can't really do the job that you've been given with, and you can't go to your manager and say, hey, it's done, but instead you need to go to them and say, hey, it's not done because reasons, and so on, you might just feel more pressure and then put this pressure onto the support agent on the other side. Now, if you do think about it this way, I think it's easier just to be more empathetic to the people that you're speaking with and basically explain to them more politely instead of being angry with them. And reason D, long resolution time. Sorry, no gift for this one because it's, well, hard to show time. But just think about the case when you're just trying to solve something and you call place A, and in place A they tell you, hey, call place B. In place B they tell you that actually it should be taken care of by place D. And going past couple of points and finally being in the place where you want to solve something after 2 hours of trying and whatnot, you might just be angry at this, and you will just do it yourself without thinking too much that this is just not cool toward other people. So if you do find someone that's just saying, I've been in here for 2 hours trying to solve it, just try to do your best to solve it all right for the client, and, well, be nice to them, give them some extra space, because, well, if you just think about this, well, can you blame them really? Okay, so there's been recently long resolution time. Now, there is a short time for Q&A session. So I'm here in case you guys have any questions right now, and I'm all yours to answer them. Yeah, the question from Will is, what was customer type A? Let me just get to it. Customer type A, sorry, I want this solved now. So this is the kind of a person that's just wants to have done things to be done now. Sorry. So also after the webinar, you'll be able to watch a recording. I will send it out to you guys in like 24 hours or so, so you can rewatch it again and get to the specific points later on. Yes, back to Q&A session. All right. All right. Now the question from John we have is that do we get a lot of trolls in LiveChat? Yes, we do. Because we work in the internet environment, there's just plenty of them to come around. Well, when you start working in customer service, some of them may even be funny, and you just know they can even make your day. But after handling more and more of them, trust me, it can really be troublesome. Okay, now a question from Jeremy is how to respond, just a second, to a customer who is bartering with you. Clearly they cannot afford the merchandise, but they are insistent on being given a discount. Yeah, also this is the one that we can actually relate to. Well, you just need to explain that your service is something that's worth the money, because people assume that if they pay for some services, they just know it's money lost, it's money gone. What you can actually do is convince them that this is not the money they lose for LiveChat, for others, some sort of services, but that's an investment, because if they do get the services and the services help the business run, they will eventually get the money back anyway. So I believe that this would be the most effective way actually to barter with the customers and so on. Of course, you can try to get them some extra deal if possible, but I believe that this would be the way to go. Hope it helps, Jeremy. Okay, if a customer is swearing and wants to get the job done instantly, but it cannot be done. Well, and this question is from Bryce. Now, Bryce, with the customer swearing, my tactic in here is that I simply do not acknowledge the fact that they do swear unless they go real bad with it. Of course, in which case I just will try to calm them down eventually. And as for getting the job done, you need to explain that some of the things are just some things that cannot be done right now. I know it's an obvious thing right now, but you can just explain the flow in your company. So for instance, let's say that customer says that they want their product to be sent today, right now. And you just need to explain to them that before the product is sent, somebody needs to go to the warehouse, get it in here, you need to pack it all together, then send it to the courier and whatnot. And because for this reason, it will just go tomorrow. So explaining the flow in your company, this can be really helpful for them to understand and actually acknowledge the fact that something just cannot be done right now. Hope it helps for Bryce. Okay, Christine, how do you block a troll's IP address in LiveChat? Now, there are two ways to go about this. First one is that if you go during ongoing chat, click on More, ban this visitor. There is a huge black button in there. It will ban them. Exactly. If not, as an admin, you can go to the settings section, security, ban visitors, where you can add the ban manually. And after the chat ends, in the archive section, you can also block the IP from the archives. I hope it helps, Kristen. If you still have troubles finding it, make sure to drop by the support team of ours, live.inc.com, and our support team will be just glad to help. Okay, now the question from Sarah, just give me a moment to read it out. Okay, the question is not really related to the difficult customers, but still you can answer it. How long do you recommend a small company is on LiveChat each day? We have a very trim team, but we have a robust customer list. Just curious what you think is the best practice. We have a lot of the I want it now types. Okay, well, as for the first question, how long do you recommend a small company being on LiveChat? If you ask me, 24/7 customer support is something that pays off. We do believe that thing, and for this reason, our support team is available 24/7, because You can never know if the customers won't need you at this particular moment. So it might be a good idea to cover all the day. And of course, again, you do not need to think about it like it's a spending that you just have 2 employees working on the live chat. Because if they do help your customer and the customer is satisfied with it, they will just return, buy more from you, and so on. So support team as well, it's an investment that pays off and gives you back, helps your company grow, and your customers stay satisfied. Yeah, and well, we have a lot of the I want it now types. I hope that my explanations from before were helpful in this. If they got lost somewhere on the way, just make sure to watch the recording again. Hope it helps, Carla. Okay, now the next one from Susannah. What about stalker customers? The ones who just keep coming back every 5 minutes and they never let you finish them? After how long should that person be banned, or how do you address the situation? Yeah, in LiveChat, we, at least our company, we use pre-chat survey to store email address of the customers. So if the customers come in and try to start working on the case and then they just leave and come back and leave, it might be a symptom of that they are experiencing some problems with the connectivity on their side. So it's a good idea to reach out to them via the email, because the email is something that stays there. So you can create a ticket from them right from the chat if you have this email available. But if this is just someone trying to troll you, so we just keep returning and bothering you and whatnot, either try to catch them while they're here and ban them, or grab their IP and add it manually in the security section. Susannah, I hope this one helps. Yeah, Lucia just pointed that she's very accustomed with the clients who want to do nothing. Well, I can relate to this. I think we all can. Again, the tactics I've explained before. You just need to know where is the line for you helping, where's the extra mile you can do. Just don't go 100 miles because, well, your legs will just hurt. Yeah. Question from Andrey is, will you provide information on how to attend these types of customers? Well, I've been explaining the tactics as the types were going, so you can watch it later on the recording. And also, there's nothing like golden rule in customer service, unfortunately. So actually, you need to approach it from knowing what they are, knowing how they behave and why. And if you do know it, you can just develop your own tactics based on your business to better approach them later on. Hope this helps, Andrey. Oh yeah, so Danny Arnold asks a question. How would you handle a customer type B? And they start to yell, curse, and demand the manager, even though you have already resolved their issue. Okay, now the question is whether the manager is really here at the time speaking. In some cases, it might be a good idea to actually transfer them to a manager if such manager is available after some time. But for the cursing part, of course, you can tell them that you do not feel comfortable with them saying these words. Now, if you do tell them to please calm down, they will never do this. So if somebody is agitated and aggressive, never tell them to calm down, because it will only just make them more angry. So try to not to acknowledge these curses and whatnot, and so on, and just explain that you can start from the beginning. And if this is the case that you said, Danny, so the issue is already resolved, just try to pinpoint the fact that the issue is resolved already. Hope it helps. Okay, now a question from Eva. How exactly can we deny a compensation? Yes, about the customer type, let me just get back to the slides. This one. Well, in our cases, for instance, we are software service. Some of you guys are as well, for sure. You just need to ask the customers, first of all, maybe have some proofs for the losses that they have. Now, also, this will depend on the agreement that you have with the clients. Just you need to make sure that the agreements that you have with the clients, they cover such situations are when something goes bad on your side. So you can always call on them, right? Plus explain to the customer that probably if they are demanding too much, you can maybe meet somewhere in between. So not maybe a compensation, but promo code just to say sorry for the future and so on. Hope this helped, Eva. Okay, so what is the best way to deal with customers who have a language barrier? A lot of my live chat experience is with international students, and at times the employees and customers get flustered because they are having difficulty understanding each other. Question from Annie. Yeah, we do get these customers as well. Now, what you need to do is you need to adapt your language level to the customer. So if you see that they have problems with English or whatever this is the language you're using, you need to use as simplified English as possible, perhaps even go to something that would be not grammatical, but they would understand. If they do write in their own language, you can always call upon translators like Google Translator, for instance, and maybe try to understand them this way. But I believe that it would just be best to use simple words, and if you do not get a part, just ask them to say the same thing in another words. And this is what basically been working for us so far. Okay, just a second. Okay, question from Carla. Is there an option or some dialogue that the client can see to tell them not to exit the chat in the middle of the conversation or the connection will be lost and I cannot respond? I've lost conversations, and they get mad because they don't know not to close the chat while they still may be browsing our website. Well, this is where the pre-chat survey comes in handy, because if you do grab email of the customers and you make it required so they leave it behind, you can just follow up straight after the chat, and that's what we do as well. If the chat gets lost in the middle, that hey, the chat's been lost, I decided to follow you up in here because the thing is not over yet. If you want, you can either come back to chat or respond to me in the ticket and we can get this sorted. So that's where tickets come in handy as well. If they do leave and they do not leave an email behind, unfortunately you cannot re-engage with them. But eventually, if they see that the case is not taken care of yet, they should return to you. Hope it helps. And yeah, Lucia, question about rude people. As I said, during the type F, you suck one, you suck type, well, you just need to let it, I was about to quote Frozen on this, let it go. Not really acknowledge the insults. So if they're insulting you, just think about that's not about you only, and well, it's about the whole company, and you should not take it too personally because, well, eventually it will just make you crazy. Okay, now a question is from Trish. What about when a client is threatening to badmouth your company on social media if you do not compensate them immediately, even if their complaints are unsubstantiated? Yes, this is a problem, and a big one too, because it's really easy to give somebody a bad name in the social media. Clients will, well, they got the means to do it. So if they do write something like this on the website and whatnot, so maybe Twitter, Facebook, and the other channels, be sure that you respond to them, and also make sure that for a third person that would be watching their post and you responding, it would be clear that you did your best. So always respond to such posts and so on. And well, if they do just make threats about it and do not post it yet, well, try to keep them in here, maybe go this extra mile for them, just so it doesn't happen, because, well, it is just more difficult to, repair the damages than actually prevent them. If you prevent them, that's better. Question from Natalia is, can the visitor rate the chat after banning? Now, the chat is closed and the rate option would still be hanging there, so they can do this. But what is a good idea when you're building a support team, you should also make sure that you will take into considerations the cases where there was an actual customer, and if you do get a bad rate for some reason, in most companies this should not be a problem because you can always show how the case went for the whole time being and explain to your manager or your supervisor or whoever is just taking care of it that you did your best to prevent this. Hope this helps. From blocking the IP, question from Charmaine. From blocking the IP, we can still unblock it in the future. Of course you can. Again, you can do this in a security section. So settings, security, banned visitors. Also, when you assign the bans, they are only for a given time period. Sometimes it might be a good idea just to assign 1-day ban. So they just, calm down a little and then they return. So yes, you can unblock it, no worries. Of course, yes, question from Rob. I see this is being recorded. Will we have access to the recording for review? Of course, I will post it later on the webinars section on our website. You will also get a recording via the email follow-up, so no worry about this. Yeah, now from Alessandra, how can I recognize a troll? With the trolls, you just need some experience to see, because the most sneaky ones are the ones that they just stay hidden. So when they do approach you, they just look like a regular customer. But there's no golden rule and no really telling where is the exact point where you just see, aha, so you're a troll. We've had numerous trolls. I mean, people writing their names as Satan or Justin Bieber included. And well, if you get some experience with it and just work in this environment, eventually you'll get more experience and be able to recognize the trolls as they come. Okay, Bryce. If a customer do not understand the procedures after a deep explanation with them, how to make them understand? Well, some people might need time to understand it, and well, at the given moment they might be just not willing to understand because they're not even reading what you're writing to them. That's how it works. Let me just move to Q&A session, sorry, this slide. So good idea in such cases is just to tell them, let us start again. Let me explain it from the start, because you might have missed something, and make sure that you try again and again. Eventually it should work. If it doesn't work, well, there's nothing more you can do from your side, I'm afraid. So it just takes some diplomatic skills, so to say, which are of course really valued from among the customer service agents. Okay, question from Alan. Best way of keeping your cool in extreme cases? Well, I'd say that the music does the job for me, really. Plus, once I acknowledge the reasons I've mentioned before, so the 4 reasons that they need to show superiority, pressure of the management, and long resolution time, once I've acknowledged these as the reasons for which the customers behave like it, it was just more easy for me to distance myself from it and just give them some more space. So you need to find out your own way. For some people it might be, I don't know, meditating or just listening to loud music. For some other it may be just taking a walk here and then in your office or drinking a water. So you need to find your own, stick to it, that works for you. Hope it helps, Alan. Okay, question from Charmaine again. Any tips how to handle these difficult clients if they are a combination of A, B, and E, or any other types? Yes. If they are combinations, which can of course happen. So we mentioned A, B, and E, which is I want to solve, I want to speak to your manager, and I want compensation for that. So, well, a difficult type, let's say that. If they do get a couple of these points, you just need to be more and more careful with them. Again, try to acknowledge the reasons for which they behave like this. For a client that would be demanding to speak for your manager because they need a compensation now, because there's the combination you mentioned, I believe that you should be just able to say that your manager is currently unavailable, but you will still let them know after the conversation finishes, so they might just return to it. Some more explanation in here and really staying cool. This is what pays off. Okay, If customer is coming again and again with different questions, how to deal with him? Well, actually, I think that you just need to deal with them, because if the customers do come with different questions, there's nothing bad, because they just need answers to it. Of course, it may be just slightly annoying when they drop in for one question, leave, come back, leave. But you can eventually get used to it. Plus, well, as a support agent, it's basically your job to answer the questions. So do not get too nervous about it. Do not get angry with the customer. Just answer the questions, because, well, they might not need this. Eventually, after they ask the question, you may just suggest to them that if you do have some questions right now, feel free to ask them. You do not have to finish the chat, come again, finish the chat, come again, and so on. Next question comes from Adam. How to politely end the chat if the customer isn't accepting any of our solutions and is only prolonging the chat? Now, I think if the customer is really angry, it's the worst idea you can have to finish the chat, because, well, it would just make them more angry. Unless you explain to them that the situation is basically done for now. So I believe that this would be the type I want to solve now, because you just need to assure them that their case is being taken care of, and currently there's nothing more to be done. So just make sure that they know that your company is working on resolving the case. Sorry. Hope this helped, Adam. Okay, question from Lucia. Greetings from Mexico. Greetings from Poland to you. In our company, we are constantly dealing with customers of old age. They despair because they enter technology, which is when they want to do everything for them. Oh yes, in case of the customers who are afraid to do things on their own, it's a good tactic to actually encourage them to do the things. So if an elderly customer comes to you and they say something like, oh, I don't know how to do it, they might just fear doing it, which is completely understandable for people who do not understand the technology. So you might give them some simpler tasks to do instead, like on the way. And if they just see that it's simple as that, you can do them help them do it step by step. So instead of focusing that they need to do all the things in all this, just focus on this one point they need to do right now, and cherish for every success on the way. Hope this helps, Lucia. Again, a question from Eva. How we can find the balance when it's our fault, but we can't be totally honest? I'm not sure if I got the question. Let me just read it out again. Okay, so I think that in some cases it's alright if you are honest that something went wrong. We are all humans, and well, this is the things that happens to us, kind of thing, sorry, that happens to us. So if you do make a mistake for the customer and you just need to somehow make up for it, I think that it's good that you just say, sorry, my bad, I really did this not, on purpose, just by mistake, and I will make my best to make up for it. So I think this helps the question. Okay. Question from Lucia again. Many questions from you today. I really like it. Okay, I have an assistant virtual who helps customers online, but in this way we found a lot of trolls that only insult the assistant. What can we do? Well, if there are trolls and they only come here to insult, and there is a really big amount of them, I'd say ban them. Banning does the job if you're under really heavy troll traffic, so to say. And I think that this would be the way to go in this case. Can you please review the types of the customers? Yeah, sure. Let me just get back to them really fast because, well, the recording is still here, so don't worry. Okay, type A is I want this solved now. We've been talking about this a lot. Type B, I want to speak to your manager. Type C, can you do it for me? So the lazy ones. Type D, the error is on your side. So the ones that just simply do not acknowledge that the fault is on their side. Type E, I want compensation for that. Type F, you're useless. And type G, the trolls. So there was a short review. Okay, what do you do if the customer begins swearing or insulting a customer service representative? I've been saying I think 2 times already, but couple of ways. Just do not respond to them. So if he or she finds out that you're not responding to this, they may just stop. If they really go hard on you, you can just say that you do not feel alright with them saying these words, and you politely ask them to stop swearing, because this doesn't help either them nor you. Okay, so this one was from Morningstar. Okay, question from Susannah is, do you know any specific way to address a customer who is asking too much information or information you cannot provide because company private and they do not understand that? Well, for the first one, customers who are asking too much information, depends on the policy. If your support team's job is to provide the information, that you should just do it for them, because that's your job. But what we do in this case, we have a knowledge base that you can find under www.livechatinc.com/kb, and in our knowledge base we have most commonly asked questions. So if you find that they have many really basic questions, you can just say, hey, tell you what, if you have a moment, take a look in here. It really helps, and many of the basic questions are answered in there. As for the information that you cannot provide because your company is private, just tell them, I'm sorry, this information is classified, I'm not allowed to provide this. If they do not understand this, repeat this one again and again. Eventually they will need to acknowledge this fact. This one. Okay, I believe that this would be everything for today. No other questions I can see. It's been my pleasure to be hosting here today. Now, the last thing before we go, after the webinar ends, there is a short post-chat survey, and I got 3 questions for you. So the first one would be, how did you like the webinar? Was it cool? Was it helpful? If it was helpful, you can just rate it from the scale from 1 to 5. The next one is, what should I cover next? Because we have some webinars already, but probably we've not covered all the topics that could be helpful for you guys. So if you think that, hey, webinar on this particular area should be good, write us either on the support team or in a survey in here. We will take this into the consideration. Now, the last thing is additional feedback if you have anything. So perhaps maybe the content, the way it's presented, some other ideas that you have to improve the webinars. We are doing this for you guys, so anything, any feedback that you have, this helps both you and us. For now, this will be everything. Thank you, and it's been my pleasure. Bye-bye.